Hello and welcome here on the Discord and YouTube channel of Bookmap. My name is Oliver Sperring. I am the CEO and founder of the Trade Neon Academy here based in Dubai. And like every last Friday of the month, I'll welcome you to our live webinar in English language. First of all, some words in advance, some tips and hints. If you are watching this stream live on YouTube right now, I strongly recommend that you check out the Discord server of Bookmap. If you got your smartphone by the hand, you can just simply scan this QR code. You'll be redirected directly to the Discord channel. All you have to do is set up your email address, verify your email address. You can join for free. It's absolutely and completely free. And you have a chance to join a very nice and great community. You've got so many other people, so many other traders to communicate with, build up your contacts. You can reach the support of Bookmap. You can access direct webinars, special webinars that are not broadcasted to YouTube. You've got free add-ons to unlock. You've got early beta access, as I said, exclusive webinars. So it's definitely a place to check out if you are not already a member. As I said, just simply scan the QR code and you'll be redirected to the Discord channel of Bookmap. Also, if you are watching on YouTube right now, this is like always supposed to be an interactive webinar, so please feel free to ask all your questions during the whole webinar. You can use the chat function of YouTube, you can use the chat in Discord. If you are watching on YouTube right now, you have a restriction that every user can only post one question or one message every 5 minutes. So if you do not want to have this kind of restriction, simply join the Discord server. You can communicate freely with me at Discord, so no restrictions over there. One more thing before I forget it, let me just quickly share my screen with you. Today is the last day of the Pro Trader webinar series. The guys over at Bookmap, they've got a lot of interesting traders who broadcast for them, who stream for them. And this Pro Trader webinar series is an event that is exclusively streamed via Discord. I'm not even sure who is streaming tonight, but there are a lot of very interesting, very nice traders with different concepts, different strategies, different approaches to trading. So this is definitely a thing to check out if you haven't already done so. As I said, it's in Discord only. All right, before we finally start, let me just quickly share the disclaimer. As always, this is a webinar that is supposed for educational purposes only. Everything we do, share, and show you is for only educational purposes. This is not supposed to be trading advice. Trading futures markets is connected to high risk, and that's why each and every one of you is strongly advised to only trade on his own risk and in his own best knowledge. All right, so what's the plan for today? First of all, I'm going to show you a review of one of my live trades that I did recently in this, I think it's a trade from this week. In our day trading educational program, I used to screen record each and every one of my own trades to later show them to my customers, to my students in the education. And one of those trades I like to show you guys here in the live stream. I like to show you how I use the software Bookmap to actually find my trading opportunities, how I use the software to open, manage, and close my trades. And as I said, please feel free to ask all your questions if you have any on how I use Bookmap in the end. After that, we're going to take care of the questions that reached us during the last month. If you're not watching the stream live, you can use the comment section, or you can simply write us an email to mail@sparring-academy.com. Please feel free to ask us any of your questions. We will collect them and I will give my best to answer them in one of the upcoming webinars. As I said, after the live trade, we're going to have a look at those questions. And right after that, we're going to jump over to Bookmap, have a look at the market opening in the ES future. We're going to make a quick, short, but very effective market analysis, draw in some levels, some price locations that everyone should keep in mind during the trading sessions. And within Bookmap, we're going to have a look at how liquidity lies in the book, how the market opened, in which phase the market opened, and we're going to have a look at certain news events during the day. Without further ado, oh, there's a question. How do I set up alerts on my phone for Bookmap? Is this possible? As far as I know, Bookmap is not a phone. It kind of depends. Let me think. It kind of depends whether you're a crypto trader. There might be a possibility to actually do this. However, I am a futures trader. I'm no crypto trader myself, so I only use the desktop app of Bookmap, and therefore I fear there is no possibility to actually set up alarms on your phone via the Bookmap app. If I find out anything about this topic, I surely let you know. I'm gonna ask the support guys. Maybe we'll find a solution for that, but as far as I know, that is not possible. All right, let me just share my screen with you, and we're gonna have a look at the trade of the day. As always, I'm not here to show you winning trades only. This is not how trading works. We all have our losing days. We all have our winning days. That's why I do not make a secret out of the fact that I also am faced with losing trades from time to time. That just happened here. Before the actual trade that I'm going to show you in this session, as you can see here, right before the actual trade, I already opened a long trade, bought my first contract here, bought my second contract here, and I got stopped out right on the point down here. However, my basic trading idea was still intact, and as soon as I saw that the market came up again and that there's new strong buying activity, which you can see here, I decided to actually open up the trade a second time, re-enter the trade, and that is the trade that I'm gonna show you in a few seconds. First of all, let's have a quick look at the chart. You can see a 5-minute chart here on the left. You can also see some strange lines that I've got drawn into my trading setup and into my chart. This is actually my morning analysis that I do every morning together with my customers. We're checking out different concepts like volume and market profile levels, like gamma and vanna levels, dark pool levels, the span interval, different VWAP approaches, and we combine all these concepts to make to form a very, very powerful kind of market analysis where we can find levels, price locations with high probabilities of institutional interest, and via the gamma and vanna levels we can also make an intelligent assumption on what is going to happen at these levels. A few more words on that later, because there was a question on that topic. But first of all, let's concentrate on the trade. We can see that after the market opening, which is this big teal colored candle here, this is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everything you can see before this candle is the European and Asian session, which I got my own volume profile for. But the actual regular trading hours, they start here with that candle. As you can see, at the beginning of the market session, the market strongly rejected the overnight high, came down, pushed through all those levels, and finally found support here down on this anchored VWAP, which is a very important level where I already expected strong buying activity to show up again. I had some bad luck because I tried to open up my position already and get into this upwards movement here. However, I simply didn't get a fill, didn't get an entry. So I had to wait until this bullish Vanna level and this bullish Vanna level up here actually gets the price surpassed them. And when I saw that the price actually stabilized above those levels, I tried my first entry here. As I said, I got stopped out right on the tick here down at 57.69-ish. And now finally I re-entered the trade up here at 57.72. One more word on this recording. As I said, it's a screen recording, and I always speed up the recording so we don't have to take a look at hour-long trades here, but we can see everything quickly and at a glance. All right, let me press play and we'll see how this played out. Okay, after I got stopped out here the first time, I wanted to act more cautious because, of course, my trading idea, as I said, was still intact, and that's why I did the re-entry in the first place. However, I did not enter